All right, all right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That is for sure all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And hopefully, I won't be holding you long. But I will say this is a evening in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. I'm coming to kind of expound on some things that I said earlier today to kind of wrap this day up with such hope for the daughters of Zion. I spoke yesterday regarding how he's going to deal with the daughters of Zion and how I believe that the majority number will be as the small remnant is going to come out of the daughters of Zion. I believe that they are going to be the small remnant. I also believe that there will be men, but it will be very few in numbers. But yet, no, there's going to be male and female in that small remnant. But I believe the majority will be the daughters of Zion. I want to kind of cover something before my night end regarding the hope for the daughters of Zion. Okay. I want you to understand that if you just continue to keep your focus on your light being lit, okay, walking in that light, and you can't walk in that light if it's not lit. So that light you walk in has to be lit. You know, the 10 virgins, one had light and one didn't. So we still dealing with that light. Sister Deborah been talking about it for about a year now, walking in that light. Know that you have to have that light in this day. And because learning that this day represents the day of judgment of the Most High Yah. This is not the day of the world judging us or what they can do to us and what they have done to us. This is not the day. The Spirit of the Most High Yah explained something to me again. He also explained to me when the prophets back in the old talked about in that day, the things that were going to happen in that day. Well, that is the day we're in today. But the Most High revealed something to me that I did not know, you guys. I did not know, but I knew. Let me say that again. I did not know, but I knew. Okay. And the reason why I did not know is, you know how Yeshua said to a mother that says, can her son sit on the right or the left? And he said, it is not for me, but my Father in heaven, whom have prepared everyone, really pretty much everyone, to be where he has assigned them. So even Yeshua knows that there's some things that even he are not aware of as far as the right hand of the, how he's going to swing things. So with me, it's like unto that, because he will give me something and he'll cause the Ruach to bring things back into my remembrance and what he taught me years ago, or even things when I was young. But there's never a time where he just give me the fullness, bam, until it is at the end. So what he shared with me about a couple of hours ago, he was telling, and I was driving, he was telling me what the judgment, what plays a role in the judgment, his judgment on the whole house of Israel. And that is also to let the beast have his way with the house of Israel. Mm-hmm. He's having his way. And that makes so much sense, more sense to me, more closure, spiritual closure, because I'm like, but these people saying Yahuwah, these people saying Yahuwah, Yah this, Yah that, but they not leading people nowhere. So now it makes sense, because the beast, as I've been telling those who are been on my page, I've been telling them over and over, the beast got a right hand that the Father has ushered him. And it seems to me that the people are following the direction of the beast. Have not I have said that in a long time? I say it all the time. And now when the Spirit of the Most High come to me, and he began to tell me that the beast can have his way with the judgment that was a part of his judgment toward the house of Israel, is to suffer the beast to have his way in the midst of the judgment of the Most High Yah. It makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Because anytime he bring upon a judgment, he always gonna leave room for things to happen that he don't even have to put forth anything. Like he saved the wicked for the days of evil. He can do that. He all that and some. So him telling me that's why I'm seeing all these things that's so sickening and evil, the deep of the deep evil. And then he began to tell me this, y'all. Listen to this. He said, you know how you've been on that platform telling them about pitch black, about blue black? The Most High revealed to me. That's because that's the deepness of the beast being able to have its way is the darkness is so dark to the where the people are not going to even see. They walking in pitch dark or dark blue. And he said, you remember you were talking about dark blue? You've been telling them they walking in pitch black and it's dark because you are able to see it from the wilderness in which I have allowed you to see. Now the reality is, there it is, Deborah. It's right before you. It was my judgment all the time. So you knew what you were saying. That's what he was telling me a couple of days. You have always been on it. Not because you are all that and some, because of who I am in you. It's why you've been on it. So I thank him for that, because now it brings more closure to no matter what happened, even in my family, amongst my children, amongst everywhere and anywhere. It's over. The judgment of the Most High toward his own people is in the center of them. And the beast also is having his way because Yah is suffering him to come in and interfere, not interfere. He's kind of giving, just say it, tell it, Deborah, just tell it like he gave it to you. He's allowing him to step in the midst of his judgment. That's right. In the midst of his judgment. That's why all this darkness, and I kept saying to y'all walking in darkness, you in pitch dark. And I said, have y'all ever heard of blue dark, blue black? That's the worstest darkness. Y'all, we're in darkness. And see, I was saying all that, not knowing what I know today. And that is, it was not today, but yesterday, that it was the judgment of Yah. And anytime the judgment of Yah is on a people, that's as dark can get. Because it's no more of what you think, the kind of mercy and grace that's going to keep this darkness from ruining your life. It's in the midst of it now. And that's why I'm seeing dark, pitch dark and dark black. I didn't know that. I would say that to you all because that's what I felt. That's what I felt, in my spirit, not in my flesh, but in my spirit. I was feeling this. So now when he tell me, because he's allowed the beast right hand to step in to his judgment. So that's why I'm seeing a lot of our people falling away, getting killed like this, and men chopping their babies' heads off, and women chopping their daughters' legs off, and men killing their wives by great numbers, and killing their mothers and their daddies and their children, shooting with the children sitting up in their laps. they'll shoot their child because they're mad at the mother, and the mother put the child and kill the child in a way that's so heinous, and look on the TV in a mugshot like, hey, so what? That's because all this time I've been saying we're in pitch dark or black, blue dark. No, black, blue. That's because that's how the highest level of evil that is among us. Okay? That the enemy has ushered in because Yah has suffered him to step into his judgment. Hallelujah. I salute again his judgment. Now, I wanted to say to you this. The daughters of Zion, I want you to understand that what I spoke of yesterday on live screen about the daughters of Zion being purged and being cleansed, it is you that I believe. And I'm going to say just believe. I know for a fact that you are the small remnant. And the reason why I say you are, because it's such a small remnant, but it's not going to be the number where you are a few. You're going to be the remnant itself, okay? Along with some males, but you're going to be the majority. That's the sign where he was saying 7-1. And then he began to clean it all up, telling you that's when you purge. He's purging and getting it all right. You see, it's because those are the ones that's going over to the promised land. Okay. But he would have to do that because the falling of Babylon, the others going to fall with the residue of Babylon. Okay. That's why he was saying it in a quiet voice. Come out of her before you receive, or else you receive her plagues, my people. So I always question him. Y'all might have heard me saying this several times. Father, why are you saying that so lightly? You didn't give him no warning. You didn't give him no nothing. You just said, come out of her, my people, before you receive her plagues. See, she got plagues. She performing all over the world. Okay. And in the United States of America. That's her trickery. That's what she does. That's her wicked. Okay. And he said, come out of her, but he's not really giving you no really clear warning. And that's because he already knows that his judgment of the whole house of Israel are going to have already taken place before he bring Babylon to the ground. You see what I'm saying? That's why he said the house of Israel has fallen. Okay. That's why, because the second fallen is Babylon, but the residue of those who have fallen in the house of Israel, they're going to be left here continuing to fall with, okay? And they're not going to fall with Babylon. Okay. So what I'm kind of feeling is that that's got to be the women, the majority. I can't really put a number on it because he didn't give me a number, but he gave me enough to say that's who's going to be entering in the promised land. But I will also say this, and even when he do take them over to the promised land, he's got some cleaning still yet to do. He's got some a heart that he's going to take out, the stony heart, and put a new heart, fleshly. Letting you know it ain't going to be spiritual. It's going to be fleshly because your spiritual heart going to still remain. You're going to have a fleshly heart. He'll take out that stony heart. He says he's going to sprinkle water on you. He's going to cleanse all the filth. So even you daughters of Zion, don't get in over your head. And like with me, I'm going to be asleep. See? I'm going to awaken into the New Jerusalem. I don't care about going over to the promised land, but I'm just showing you how long of a suffering that the house of Israel still has. And if they haven't even led the people anywhere, it's because they are still all up in the Babylon. And when Babylon time to fall, they're going to fall with it. Okay. Now, another thing he was sharing with me. I'm going to keep talking till he put it back in my spirit to speak on. I'm going to take you to 1 Peter chapter 4. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. And it reads, let's bump it up to 16. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 16. Ye, if any man suffer as Christians, let him not be ashamed. I don't know if your book slant the word suffering. Mine's kind of did. But it says like Christians. Now we know that's something that they put in there. Okay. So we're saying if any man suffer as Christ, okay, let him not be ashamed. Okay. Let him glorify Yah on this behalf. So what I'm saying is, do you remember, many of you might not have listened to the video before this when I was saying it's time to salute the will of the Father. It's time to salute his judgment. You know, that means accept it. Own up to it. You know, put your face in it and say, yay, Father, let your will be done. So here it's saying pretty much what I was saying. It's saying, if any man suffer as Christ, let him not be ashamed. See, don't let your suffering in this world or what's going on that's going to cause you to suffer, because you're going to be here seeing these things taking place. Even as Deborah spoke it, it's going to hit you greater than it has ever. Those that walking in the light now. I'm not talking about those that's in the pitch dark. It's going to hit you greater because now he's going to allow you to see it, because now he has put it out to the wind. That it is the judgment that he has put upon a people in the midst. Okay. Now he's saying here in 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 16, if any man suffer as Christ, let him not be ashamed. You see, but let him glorify who? Yah. Is that not what I was saying? I salute Yah's will. I salute his judgment. I salute his chastisement. I salute everything he's doing in the midst of the judgment toward the house of Israel. I salute it. So this is what he's saying. Don't be ashamed of the suffering. Okay? But just glorify Yah on behalf of what he is doing. Stop trying to make him feel you. He don't want your emotions. He don't want your mouth talking about bless me here, save my this and save. No. It's time to salute him by saying, I see, Father, your will is always perfect. It's always good. Because this is exactly what this is saying. If ye find your any man suffer as Christ suffered, okay, let him not be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of being judged and being in the house of Israel being judged. It ain't no shame in this, baby. It ain't no shame. Because Yah is judging the whole house of Israel. It ain't time to feel shame. It ain't time to feel pity party. It's time to praise the Most High and said, I respect your will, Father. I respect your judgment. I see, even when I can't see, I need you. I can't do nothing without you. I'm all for you. The way you do it, the way you say it, the way you planned it, I'm all on your side, Father Yah. That's what Sister Deborah was saying early in that video. I salute his ways. I honor his ways. I uplift his ways. I speak of this judgment on the house of Israel. Now listen what he said. What he said. But let him glorify Yah on this behalf. On what behalf? Your suffering. Glorify him in the midst. That's why I said it ain't time to sit here and say, Save the house of Israel. I pray for our brothers. I pray for our sisters. Oh, I pray for my children, Father, y'all. I pray for my mother. Oh, that's not what time it is. It's time to pray to him, not at him. Glorifying him in the midst of this storm. And don't try to ask him to move his wheel, because it ain't going nowhere. Okay? Now, I didn't know that, what I just read to you. My paper says 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. Now, what does 16 come in? Because Yah has his way with those that is a part of his will. I mean the righteous will. Now, he had me to bump it up to 16, and 16 really identified my last video. And I had no idea. I didn't read 16, but that shows me, Deborah, you keep letting me use you. You see? Get your ugly self out of the way and let me use you. You see? And when he said ugly self, he's talking about our flesh. Our flesh is some ugly, stanky stuff. You see? It don't mean our spirit man no good. It don't even mean us. He said our worstest enemy is self. He's talking about the flesh. It's always have us doing things, saying things, acting a certain way, and believing things that's wrong. Get it out the way. Now watch this here. Now we're going to go to 1 Peter, same book, chapter 4, verse 17. 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 17. For the time is come. That is, it reminds me of that day. Hallelujah. He said, for the time is come that the judgment must begin at the house of Yah. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yah? You see? What would be their end? You know who he's talking to? He's still talking to the whole house of Israel. If the judgment start at the house of Yah, and if it first begin at us, hallelujah, what shall the end be of them that obey not his gospel? He's still talking about the house of Israel. He said to you all, like he said to me, Deborah, what do you say gonna be their end? Want me to tell you what I think? They're gonna fall with Babylon. Whatever residue that's left after he take his small remnant, it's falling down with Babylon. That's why they all up in the rectum. Y'all heard me say that, of Babylon right now. They can easily behold what Beyonce and Little X need. They easily sees that. They can easily, but they can't see that they walking in the rectum of Babylon. You see, now here, listen to what it says. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time is come that the judgment must begin at the house of Yah. Now watch this here. He says must. What do that mean? My will be done. It must be done according to the way I predestined it and ordained it to. My will shall be done. So what? You don't like it, it's going to be done. And this is what he said. Verse 17, for the time is come that the judgment must begin at the house of Yah. And if it first begin at us. Now that's the judgment. Now what is the judgment? He's showing up and showing out. The judgment is before us. And the beast got his right hand in it. Woo! That's deep. We run from the vaccination and being vaccinated and the virus. This is deeper than the virus, y'all. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Our people are falling by the wayside in all kind of wicked and evil ways, and they don't even have the vaccine, the virus, nor the vaccine. Y'all ain't even noticed that, have you? Y'all haven't even thought to just stay on the news one day and just see all the people. I'll tell you what, furthermore, Go to YouTube and key in your state and see the crime in your state amongst the house of Israel. Has nothing to do with the virus, y'all. Has nothing to do with the vaccine. You see what I'm saying? Y'all is making a statement tonight, y'all. He's sending a message to you all, whether you want to hear it or not. There's some that comes on the live chat. They just come to be nosy and dip in and dip. They known to do that. Every platform they go to, they dipping in and dipping out. You know why? Because they ain't content. They not settled in their spirit where they need to be or where they need to be going. You see? So they go to and fro looking for what they flesh desire to hear. But let me say this here. 1 Peter chapter 4:17. For the time is come that the judgment must begin at the house of Yah. And if it first begin, and look at my begin is slanted at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yah? What would the end be? For if the righteous is scarcely be saved, where should the ungodly and the sinners, see, not just the ungodly, but the sinners appear? It's judging. We're being judged, y'all. And we're looking at all the wrong things, and it's right there on us. Because that's what's my issue. And it has been totally fulfilled. I slept so good last night because I heard, I just was just loaded with so much information. And it just made, what it did is it put a closure on everything. On everything. It put a real nice coating on top and closed everything out. Now I understand why the things that I've been said to the fullness of how it was all in his righteousness that these things be said. It wasn't important to him that you had a lot of subscribers, Deborah. It wasn't important to him that you had a lot of viewers. It wasn't important to him that you had a lot of praise. It's not important that you had a lot of likes. It's important that truth and spirit and truth was put out. Hallelujah. That's all that's important to the Most High Yah. That's all that's important to the Most High Yah. Now, one thing he was saying, that's Ezekiel. One thing he was saying is that we as a people must understand that where we're at, it's not a time to try to pray to him to get somebody else to do right. He don't want you to go thinking you're going to pray somebody in the midst of his face. You're going to pray for somebody to do right, to do this and to do that. When you begin, you know what? I'm going to tell you why. Let me explain to y'all why. Before the judgment hit, that was fine and dandy that we cried out on behalf of others, especially the weak, because we were strong enough to cry out to the Most High Yah. But because the judgment has been set, and it's in the midst, then therefore we're crying out that he changed his judgment when the prophets already prophesied in that day. Yeshua spoke of it to his 12 in that day. So it's nothing Yah is going to come and make it right for us to feel good about our children, our husbands, our wife, and the things that everybody is doing that does not represent him, that does not please him. We're crying out that he delivered them and saved them after 400 years, after 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years. And after the 400 years is over, we're asking him to still deliver them in the midst of his judgment. What he would do is, if we take the judgment, let me go here. I'm gonna go to Leviticus, and I don't care. If you're not interested, go to the next one that'll feed your flesh. Because I'm gonna say this time, I'm gonna say it, and I'm not gonna even be on here long. Listen to this. This is why he don't want to hear your pity party. He don't want you to bless my wife, bless my children, save them. No, it's time for you to have a relationship only with him and him only. Because this is judgment time. This ain't time for you to get your blessing. This ain't time for you to get your words in to him, to do this for your mother. This ain't time for you to get your word in to do this for grandma or do this to grandpa. This ain't time for you to say, my friend this, my husband this, my wife this. This ain't what time it is. It's judgment time, y'all. He gave you umpteen time throughout all, even when the 400 years was over. That's when it should have been kicking in. Oh no, all that old stuff, it's over with. Let me show you something. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to show you what time it is. This is what time it is. I'm going to Leviticus 26 again. And like I said, if you don't want to hear it, go to the next. Next. Leviticus 26, verse 40. If they shall confess their iniquity, this is what you should be doing now. Just confess it. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Just start telling what's true. And that is your sin, your iniquity. And then he said, don't come to me confessing it if you're not willing to confess your father's sin. If you're not willing to confess, listen to what it says. I'm going to say it as it says. It speaks. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers. It's nothing in here saying the iniquity of their mothers. He ain't going to tell you that. Because the truth be told, the iniquity really hangs on the back of the men. Because he said, I will visit the children, 4th generation, for the sins of the father. This is a stage that I've taught a couple of years ago, and I also have tagged in it many times, that the sin that you see before you is not the sin of the mother. It is the sins of the fathers. You would never pick up this book and you would read it from front to back to back to front to front to back, where he said the sins of the mother, the sins of the daughters. No, he says the sin, the iniquity of the fathers. So he's saying this to Sister Deborah to tell you. The sin of the father rests within the children. And this is why we got to where we at, loaded with sin. But until we're able to do what? He said, confess. Let me explain to you what he said. If you're able to confess the sins of your sins and the sins of your father, you actually said to the Most High Yah, I'm sorry. We've been messing up a mighty long time, Father. I didn't do it right. My fathers didn't do it right. My forefathers didn't do it. They all messed up. We wrong, Father. We are wrong. We are 100% wrong. And you right for what you're saying. You right for your actions. You right for your doings. You right for your judgment. You right for your chastising. See, you're flipping it right back to the power of who he is. You're giving everything, all the power back to the Creator. That's what this is saying. Give me my power out of your hands, because it ain't going to do you no good, because my judgment had hit. So what you need to do is what? If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity. He said, no, don't come to me confessing your iniquity and not your father's. You got to do both of them. Meaning you got to understand what is actually going on. This is what Sister Deborah have said since she's been on this Deborah platform. Why are they bypassing the sins of the father and meditating on the women? You're supposed to be correcting it so the next generation won't fall into what you did. Oh, no, they don't want to do that. They busy getting wives. And let me not get on that, because that's what y'all want me to stick to. Let me stick to this. Now watch this here. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 40. If they shall confess, Deborah, their iniquity, Deborah, and the iniquity of their fathers, with their trespass, which they trespassed against the heathens, against the Gentiles, against China, against Russia. No, against Yah. Everything we've done, we have done it unto him. All our evil and wicked and unrighteous injustice, we have done it unto him. And we don't have no shame in our game. We don't have no remorse. We have no care. We walking around here think we all that and some. Getting all the praises on this devil platform. Getting all the likes and the subscriber. We in there. Yeah, you in there. And know that the judgment of the Most High Yah will be coming to your door. Now listen to this. And he said, which they trespassed against me, Deborah. And that also they have walked contrary unto me, Deborah. See, these people, Deborah, have done everything they possibly could against me since they've been on the face of the earth. Why, Deborah? Because I listed them under my name. And they act up from the floor. And still, 2021, still, they could care less all the things that they have done to me. But Leviticus 26:40 said, but if Deborah, in the midst of this judgment, if they confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers, he don't want to hear it if you want to just confess the iniquity of your father, and he don't want to hear it if you want to just confess the iniquity of yourselves. No, he wants to hear both of them. But this is the key to it. This is the key to it. No more mercy and grace in the confession. This time you have to be sincere because the judgment already hit the ground. It is already in effect. So when you come into him, it's not about trying to bless your daddy, bless your mother, bless your wife, bless your children, bless your sons, bless your daughters, bless. Oh, no. This is time. You go before the throne of the Most High Yah and confess your iniquity. And let him know everything he had said was on it. Everything you have done, all your chastising, all your discipline, everything you have done, Father, has been righteous. This is the sort of things that you need to be doing in this day. All this other monkey mess, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna go in. It's too late to go before the throne of the Most High on behalf of your family, your loved ones, because what you're doing is you're taking flesh to the judgment seat and you're putting it out before God. Bless my daughter, bless my son, my husband, my wife. Oh no, y'all ain't going for that, baby. Judgment has hit the earth. It had hit. It's down, y'all. So what makes you think he gonna get up and change his prophecy? All the prophet warned you all about it. Did you prepare for it? No, you could care less. Even throughout your 400 years, you could care less. 400 years. And guess what? When you came over here, you had it. I know. They don't teach you that on this devil platform. You had it. That's why they can come back now after the 400 years and reveal to you everything that had taken place. Why? Because it already was in them. They didn't want no part of it. They wanted to get up here and act a fool with the heathens. And they, like the Most High said, they did just that. They showed up and showed out in front of the heathens by profaning his name, disrespecting him, and dishonoring him, even to the year 2021, when you're on this devil platform and not giving him the glory, not giving him the honor, not giving him the praise, but you collecting all your likes, all your subscribers, all your uplift, all your praise. You don't represent Yah. You don't represent Yah, but the judgment is coming for you. Okay, and this is what he said in Leviticus 26 and verse 41. And that I also will walk contrary unto them, and have brought them into a land of their enemy, if then their uncircumcised heart be humble, and they then accept the punishment of their iniquity. That's what Sister Deborah was doing. And she was saying, I salute your judgment, Father. I salute your will, your ways, your chastising, and everything that comes with it. I salute it. I accept it. And that's what he's saying here. when they accept, they humble. That means shut your mouth. Go low. Stop boosting and bragging and putting yourself on high. All these things you're doing to get likes, to get subscribers. You better come down off of it, because this here mighty word that I'm saying is about to bring you down. It's about to bring you all the way down. Now listen to what he says. Accept the punishment of their iniquity. Not only do we got to confess it, our own iniquity and the iniquity of our fathers, not our mothers. He didn't tell you do nothing about your mothers, because he already said, I'm going to discover her secret parts, because there's something about her these men don't know. Praise the mighty God. But he said in here in 41 of Leviticus 26 and 41, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity. That's the judgment, even what we have before us. This is how he said we're to be right now. Because his judgment has hit the earth, and it's in the midst of the house of Israel, the whole house of Israel, and accept this same thing Sister just taught and just read in Leviticus 26, verse 40 and verse 44. Leviticus 26, chapter 26, verse 40 and 41. That is how you're to be dealing today. That's where we're supposed to be at today. Nothing in here saying, pray for your mother, your sister, your daughters. Pray for a house. Pray for some fields where you can have some land. Pray for you to have animals and farmland. No. That's not what y'all said. He says it's time to come to the mighty throne and salute him in all his ways. And when you come with the fruit of repentance. Come with the fruit of confessing your iniquity and confessing even your father's iniquity. Come with the fruit of what? Accepting the punishment of their iniquity. See, we got to accept the judgment. So just because he says the judgment is among the whole house of Israel, we got to find room to accept it. No, this ain't time to try to get everybody under the what is it, on the prayer list. Oh no, baby, this not the type of prayer. Only prayer you're supposed to be going to is recognizing him and him only in the midst of the judgment. So when we're running around here thinking that it's time to pray for everybody, wife, go before the throne of the Most High Yah for the iniquity of yourself and your fathers, and accept his punishment. That's what he's asking us to do today, because we are in the midst of the judgment. See, Sister Deborah didn't know all that time. She kept saying, y'all, we in pitch darkness. Oh, they teaching them people darkness. They rather like darkness over the light. All this time I'm studying talking about light, and now I'm realizing in the last couple of days how deep this darkness is, to the point of understanding it is the judgment of the Most High God on the whole house of Israel. If that's not beautiful, I don't know. And also, there is a female that the Most High gave me a dream. And that dream was really strange, you guys. I never talked about it. It's been a month now. Maybe because it didn't even bother me. It didn't even dawn on me. It's not something I even thought about. It's not even something I even look into. But the Yah brought this individual to me in a dream. And he said that this individual is going to touch base with you. And y'all going to have to communicate. I said, yay, Father. Yay, Father. And it's been a month now since he told me that. Now, he didn't say that I am to do it. He said that she shall do it. So I'm good. So back to this here. So do you now, I don't know if you all saw the video prior to this one. I was telling you, and I was doing like this because I'm saying in my spirit, y'all, that's it with me. Do you all know I was praying that the Most High save and sanctify and fill my children with the precious gift of the Ruach? Oh, I was praying all that. It ain't time for that no more. Judgment has hit the earth. It's time. okay, to confess that my sins, my forefathers' sins, and own up to the punishment, meaning the consequences for what we've been doing. Once we do that, we're going to be all right. That's what he was giving. He gave me this. Even though they did this then, he wants you to know it's what you're supposed to be doing now. It's not about trying to get the ruach in you. It's not about trying to desire this and desire that. It's not a time, it ain't about getting prepared for the vaccine and the virus, because what he's going to do when you confess and you confess the sin, this confessing is not something you do in your mouth, y'all. He's not going to let you get away with that. Do you know how many people speak all kind of forgiveness? I'm sorry, forgive me, Father, out of their mouth? That same ugly mouth they curse with, smoke with, and profane his name and dishonor him and disrespect him with, they still think they can confess with it. Oh, no, not this one. This is a little bit deeper, y'all. This got to bust through the bone marrow of where you stand, okay? So it's got to go strictly to the spirit. So the confessing your iniquity and the iniquity of your father, it's got to come from the inner man. It can't come from your flesh, baby. Don't pay no attention to your flesh. Your flesh always said something ugly and stupid. So he don't want it out of your flesh mouth. He want it out of your spirit man, where it's sincere, where it can touch the hem of his garment, which is spirit, which is truth. And then when you confess it, then you accept. Okay, I see it. You all, that alone comes with a feeling. It comes with such an awesome feeling to accept the punishment. Okay? And that's what he said, accept my judgment. It too shall have an end to it. You see? So the Most High God is saying a mouthful. And I'm going to have to wrap this up because I don't want to go past, but I want to wrap it up with what he gave me the last thing he gave me was Ezekiel. Did I go right? I hope I got this right. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 6. But I think I'm going to try to hit it from verse 1. I got down here Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 6. But I'm going to go Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 1. He cried also. No. I forgot. He said, let this do it. I forgot. He did tell me that. I want y'all to listen to this here. Very attentive. This is something he told me. And he said, let him speak it. Let him do this here. Watch this here. I'm going to give you something. Let's turn to Ezekiel chapter 9. And we're going to wrap this thing up. And just hear. I want you to hear what the Most High God is saying.
Ezekiel 9. He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in, and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherub whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh, and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Mm-hmm. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And he said unto them, defile the house, and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth, and slew in the city. And it came to pass while they were slaying them, and I was left, that I fell upon my face and cried and said, Ah, Lord God, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel in thy pouring out of thy fury upon Jerusalem? Then said he unto me, The iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and full of perverseness. For they say, The Lord hath forsaken the earth, and the Lord seeth not. And as for me also, mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me.
Hallelujah. I wanted you all to hear that because he laid that on my heart. And I wanted to read it myself, but he wanted me to use the voice, that's voice, because he's trying to send a statement. This is actually here. Y'all is now go to Ezekiel, read it yourself, and see that he didn't play then and he ain't playing now. We've been messing up from the floor up. We done got him wrong. We have talked like he is a man, like unto a man. He is not like that. He is one that do not play. And then I sit back and I try to figure out, well, why, Father, why I'm non-tolerant? I was trying to figure out, I am a non-tolerant person. Why is it I'm like that? He's non-tolerant in as well. He's non-tolerant. Now in Ezekiel chapter 9, he said a mouthful. Did he not say kill who? When I'm running, Sister Deborah running around here said, these men killing these babies, they killing their little girls, they killing their little boy. The spirit of judgment is in the house of Israel. So when Sister Deborah sitting here hollering and acting like, oh, and he had to keep telling me, Deborah, calm down, this need be. That's why he had to keep warning me. I heard a lady today, and I'm going to tell y'all this, and I'm going to end this after, once it hit an hour. This lady, I've sat and I listened to her. And the only reason why I listened to her, I have never seen her a day in my life, is I just realized, not just realize, I accept that they are listening in to those they know who they are. And it's a sad thing. The beasts know who I am. But the people in which Yah has sent me to knows nothing. That's what I was telling y'all the other day about the Caucasian. If a total stranger ain't never been in my store, walk in my store and look at me and buy stuff and turn around and say, but you know, I know who you are. But the people in which y'all have sent me to don't know who I am. In Yah. But they can know, but you don't. Something wrong with that. But I'm not going to worry about it because he said I am created for him and not him for me. So the purpose that's in me and the will that he has designed for me is about him and not Deborah. So that's why I wonder, why is it they know and don't even know my name? I don't even have to open my mouth. I'm like, that's why I say it's something else about these heathens. It's something else about these heathens. And I'm going to show y'all something. As a little girl, Psalms 18. But this is where I say, that's why I don't care about this platform. I was just put here to do what he had me to do. So when you stand before him, them T's crossed and them I's dotted, the will of the Father. Now this here, in the book of Psalms 18, David was telling the Most High about how his own was hated on him. And they cried, but they were none to save them, because Yah got on them that was against David. But this here was a psalm Yah gave me. I think I was like 17. And it says on verse 44, as soon as they hear me, of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me. That's in Psalms. But listen to this. This is Psalms 18, verse 45. And the strangers shall fade away and be afraid out of their closed places. And that's how it is with me. That's how it is. They come to me as if they know something about me. He's giving me the favor in the stranger's eyes, is what I'm saying to you all. But then here these people on all these devil platforms thinking they all this and that and can't even discern Yah's anointed, appointed prophets nor prophetess. That's sad. But I'm going to end because it's almost that hour. And I will say to you all, take out time to read Ezekiel chapter 9. And then you can also 1 Peter chapter 14. Read it. If y'all is for real about what's going on. And even Sister Deborah. I also have to do more confessing my iniquity and my forefathers' iniquity. That's where we're at today. That's what we need to be doing. Anybody in the live chat would like, it's so beautiful seeing you all here today. And I thank you all for coming in and joining. Anyone in the live chat wants to say something or have a verse, maybe we can expound on it before our time is up. All right. That's right. Thank you so much for saying that. He don't have to answer to nobody. And that's what we see what you're just saying. That is exactly what he wants us to say. Sister, a brother, I don't know who is the AC, but that is exactly the way he wants us to feel. That's what he wants us to feel. That's what he wants us to say. It's Father, you all let in something. You don't have to answer to nobody. You're the beginning and the end. You all let in something. We need to get out of what we think is something, which is our flesh, and understand that our spirit has a connection to him that's awesome. He gave it to every man, woman, boy, and girl. When you were born, he gave that to you. That was that image of him he gave you. He gave you his image and he gave you his breath. And the image is a spirit. For he is a spirit and he gave you a spirit. So that you can turn to his spirit and you all can clamp together and become one in him. I'm glad you're here too. I'm glad to see everyone here. Did anyone have any questions or anything that I've said today on videos or anything? I'm here to answer any questions or anything you want to add to this topic, because let me tell you something. Deborah don't sit in this alone. I'm just a pin needle. That's all. You all makes up the whole body. Y'all don't understand that. The body of Christ. So you all have something, you all can have something to say that'll bless everybody on the live chat as well as me. Yes, all praise to the Most High Yah. All praise and glory to the Most High Yah. Thank you, Father Yah. Thank you, Father Yah. You love these nights. And I'm going to try to see if the Most High want me to continue. I don't want to bring sorrow to the hearts of the people, because I'm going to tell you something. Truth, the truth of Yah. That's why he said, let not your heart be. Because the moment you hear truth, your heart starts to trouble. See, he knows that. That's why he has to give us the endurance to accept. The endurance is a spirit that he puts in you. because he know you can't hold up on yourself by yourself. He needs to hold you up with this spirit because a lot of it is overwhelming. Thank you. Thank you. Give God all praise, all praise. And when you communicate, I got something to say. I got something to say. When you're communicating with the Most High Yah, go into your secret place. Do you hear what he said in Isaiah 3? That he's going to discover the secret parts of a woman, of the daughters of Zion. He's going to discover. What you mean you're going to discover? You already know our secret parts. He's just trying to send you a message under the table, and you got to get it. Y'all got to get it. Y'all don't get it, but it's something to that. But we have to go before the throne of the Most High Yah. Don't try going to him without Christ. Please don't try going to the throne of the Most High Yah without Christ. Don't leave out Yeshua HaMashiach, which is Jesus Christ or Yeshua HaMashiach. Any way you want to say it, he's going to meet you where you at. And you'll learn that. You will learn that if you came to him in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, or say, for instance, you came to him in the name of Jesus Christ, let me tell you something. He said that's the door. So when you come to him that way, guess what? That door going to open. And he going to sit with you, meaning one-on-one. He going to begin to talk out of you what he wants you to say to him. You tell me ain't that deep. Then you're going to be sitting your tail up there saying things you don't even understand because he can set your flesh down. He's dealing with your spirit. He want to commune with your spirit. He want to deal with the inner man where he gave you the image of who he is. He wants to get with that image and deal with it. So learn how to deal with Yah in spirit and in truth. You don't have to say something. Tell your flesh to get somewhere and sit down. It don't have to know what the Most High has to say to his image in you. Learn how to get on one-on-one and just say, here I am. From the inside, you watch, he start dealing with you, talking to you, you be saying, well, wait a minute. I can't understand what he's saying. I can't. Your brain will be thinking that. Your flesh will be thinking that. Then your flesh start trying to go up against you communing with Yah. See, Yah come in you and start talking to you in spirit. And your flesh was, oh, well, how long are you going to let him talk to you? You don't even understand what he said. That's how I know that your flesh don't mean you no good. It don't want you to commune with the Most High Yah. But in this judgment of where we stand, you better learn how. You better learn how. Because you got to share those iniquity of you and your Father. You got to put it before the throne. And when you come to his throne, I'm coming to you, Father Yah, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. I'm going to grip your garment, and I ain't going to let it go till I hear from you right now, Father. I want to sit here at your throne, at your feet. I'm holding on to your garment. Let him know. Just and then let him take over from there. So what, you ain't going to understand what's going to take place after that. Yeah, he's going to be saying some things to you, and you ain't going to be able to stop. You ain't going to be able to stand nothing, but let him have his way. Praise the Most High Yah. We thank the Most High Yah. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's right. I'm telling y'all, go into the book and let the Most High tell you how your flesh gets you in trouble all the time. And that's why you see all this stuff being judged today, because our flesh done got us all out of whack. It's time for us to step into the spirit realm of the Most High Yah and remain there. And I'm glad that's how, you know what, though? That's how I felt yesterday when he came to comfort me. I was like, oh, I feel so much better. It's just like a big relief. You mean all this stuff that you didn't had me to say, this is what it was about? This is why I was in the wilderness seeing all this stuff and calling it black, blue, and dark? This is what all this was about? Yes, Deborah. And I was like, okay. Okay, Father. Oh, yes, baby. Please ask him. And you know what? A lot of times it's already there. The spirit of endurance is already there. But I'm gonna be honest with you. When I moved back here from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, I was in Atlanta, and it's been about 4 years ago. I think it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. No, about 4 or 5 years ago. It was. I was here for like almost 4 years. I was sitting in my living room and I said, Father, why is things this way? Why are people afraid of me? I'm the nicest, sweetest, giving, lovingest person on the face of the earth. Oh, I don't play. Oh, no, the devil don't play. I'm non-tolerant. But Father, your love so deep in me that why is it people don't take to me? They're more afraid of me. You know what he told me? I'm going to share this with y'all. You know what he told me? He said, I had a hedge around you for many years. I want them to see you outside of that hedge. In any way that they saw you, that's what they saw. That's what they believe. I saved you for myself. And then I began to say, but how is that? He said, I branded you. You know, like they brand the animal? He said, I branded you for my namesake. I said, oh, I'm branded for your namesake? That feels so good. And guess how many years, y'all? I'm going to tell you how many years. 58? 58 years, never knowing what it was. I was branded for his namesake. 58 long years not knowing that. Trying to figure out why were people afraid of me. I weigh about 155, 165 foot 5, but I always been skinny and puny. What? How somebody gonna be afraid? But it was him that was in me. And he had put a hedge around me. And outside of that hedge, he allowed them to see me to be whatever they wanted to see. Because he had never let them know the person that I was. So they couldn't even. So when this one time I went to a class reunion and this guy was saying, he said, oh, I remember you. You used to be tough and bad. I said, when did you see me fight someone? He couldn't even tell. See, I went to a funeral and this one lady said, told this other lady of a classmate, she said, I remember Deborah, she used to be tough and mean. And her friend said, why y'all say that about her? She said, because Miss Nicholson asked her to read and she said she didn't want to. And she didn't. How did I get to be mean because I didn't want to read? As a little girl in 6th grade, this lady told me, that lady said, ma'am, her friend said, ma'am, they did me the same way. And she went on and told it like it is. She said, because I was a child of the Most High. She said, God. And she said, and they see me the way they wanted to see me. I said, now how stupid is that? I'm a mean and bad person because I didn't want to read in the 6th grade. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sitting all trying to put all these pieces together, trying to put it together. And y'all waited till I was 58 years old and told me I was branded for his namesake. It was beautiful, though. It was good to know. Oh, yes. And that really, that cleanse, go to Isaiah 3. Please, any female on this platform right now, this on live chat, go to Isaiah 3 and you see how he's going to deal with you. And when you finish, you ain't going to see him say he's going to kill you either. You read it. He ain't going to kill you. But he said he's going to kill your men. And he called them your men, not his. He said, your men, thy women. He said, thy men shall die by the sword, even your mighty men. He letting you know. So I'm going to purge you and get you right. And I'm going to have to destroy those that didn't mean you no good and didn't mean me none either. So I like that. So he going to take them out. So that I say, do your study and see that you might find out that the females is that small remnant. There's going to be some males in there, but I think the female is the majority of the small remnant. Oh, he got you, didn't he? And he didn't give up on you. He kept chasing you. I bet you anything. He kept at you. Oh, there that is. Ecclesiastes is my friend. I love Ecclesiastes because I'm gonna tell you something else in Ecclesiastes. A lot of mysteries. Mhm. It's a lot of unspoken stuff that you wonder why you ain't heard nobody preach about or teach about. You can find in Ecclesiastes, and you be like, "Wow, why didn't they say this? Why didn't they teach this? Why didn't they tell us?" It's so much that they haven't told us about. You see what I'm saying? And it's too late now because the judgment had hit. Now, after the judgment of the Most High Yah is the falling of Babylon. See, the falling of Babylon coming right into the judgment. The judgment of the house of Israel is taking place right now. Okay? In the midst of that, right after that, wham, Babylon's going to fall. Okay? Because he's going to take his small remnant out of that judgment. Okay? And then he's going to let Babylon fall right into it. And those that's left from that judgment is going to fall with Babylon. Great number. Great. Did y'all just not, did you hear what happened in Ezekiel? Did you hear what happened in 1 Peter and 4 and 17? In Ezekiel chapter 9, what did he tell them? Boys, girls, children, women, kill them. And if you really look, I know y'all didn't pay attention to it. That's why I want you to read it. It was somebody from heavens came down to do it. Yes. See how he rumbled? He ain't gonna use these knucklehead men to do nothing. Just like he went out to Lot. Why couldn't he send Abraham to Lot and warn Lot that y'all about to destroy? Come on out, Lot. No, he sent his. See, he don't have to wait. He don't have to answer to us and do it our way. He know what he doing. You don't have to listen to us. And we looking for him to do it our way. No, ain't no more of that. Ain't nobody gonna talk about it's our way. It's his way or no way. So get with his program or get somewhere and sit down. Mm-hmm. It is so great, so merciful, even serving. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do too. Okay, how are we seeing the judgment on Israel now? I tell you what, tomorrow when you wake up, key in your state, the things that's taking place with the tribe of Judah, just in your state alone. And then you come back and tell us, how are we seeing the judgment of Israel now? See, that's what happens when you're so used to hearing your people pressing judgment on the heathens. And Yah said, I'm coming to the house of Yah first. I'm coming to the children of Israel first to judge them. We still want to put the judgment on the heathens. Oh, they get nerves, y'all. Y'all just don't know. They get nerves too. But y'all got to take his up out of here. So he has to judge it and leave that which is going to fall with Babylon here and take his small remnant. It makes sense, don't it? So if you have not seen, it says, how are we seeing the judgment on the house? On Israel now. Go back and start back at the beginning of this. Start back at the beginning of this video, and then you get it. Yep. Yeah, Jeremiah, did you know Jeremiah have said it too? That's what I was like, wait a minute, Father. I said, first, you let Solomon tell me why he got all out of shape in his walk. Then you tell me, you let Jeremiah explain to me what I'm going through. And then you let Jeremiah explain Ecclesiastes. All of them. He'll let them come and minister to my spirit, y'all. And how they do it there, it's almost like they saying to me in my spirit, look, this is what happened to us. We did this, and in spite of it, they didn't hear, they didn't listen. So they killed us. Y'all don't even understand. They chopped them up and did all kind of things. And I'm talking about your house of Israel. See, what they did here on these platforms, they didn't tell the truth. And they're not still going to tell the truth. Because the truth be told is we are the most ugliest people on the face of the earth. Why, Deborah? Why would you say that? Because we was put under Yah's name. And we the only one done them the worst. We the only one, every time he pull us out of a situation, we go right back in against him. He pull us out, we go right back in against him. He pull us out, we go right back in again against him. All the way up into today. 2021, judgment has hit the earth on the whole house of Israel. Try pulling out now. Why? Because Babylon got to fall because Jerusalem and the tribe of Judah has already fallen. They're in the midst of the judgment. So then after that, Babylon got to fall on the rest of the residue of the tribe of Judah and the house of Israel, because y'all gonna be poured out his small remnant. Did not he tell him, let the wheat and tarry grow together? Huh, I don't want you to tie up nothing and burn it up. I do the separation because I know who's who and what's what. See, we miss all that. We miss all that. They got us thinking all kind of things, celebrating all kind of feasts and all kind of full moons and all kind of this and all kind of that. And they ain't got no worship in them. They ain't got no praise in them to serve the Most High Yah. And they loaded with iniquity and not owning up to the iniquity of the fathers. And that's what it was all the time. He kept saying, your forefather, your forefather. He wasn't talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because he ain't never called them stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient. You see what I'm saying? But when they want to look good, they grab onto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But the truth be told, they had an ugly father. Their forefathers was ugly toward my Most High Yah. They wronged my Most High Yah and got us with the same sick mind that they have. We need to own up to that. And we need to own up to what they did to the same father. And we need to own up. And then we're supposed to accept his judgment that he has put upon us, and he will deliver us. Yes, he will. But he ain't gonna deliver us. We still running around here trying to make it look like we all let in some. I told y'all I don't mess with the Christians. I don't go around talking about the heathens and what they did. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. The reason why Sister Deborah couldn't, because I was in the wilderness all this time. He was showing me truly who was the ugliest. That's why. So if I'm sitting here telling, but the white man doing this and the white man doing this and they did this to them, they did this, he turned around and told me, but who put you down to do it? For them to do it. I told you in Ezekiel 36 that I put you in the land that was like unto your ways. Let me say that again. I put you in the land which was like unto your ways. So what is that saying? Before you even got over here on the ship, your ugly ways was already in you before you hit this slave master ground. That's what Yah is saying. And I desire to put you where you matched up with. These men ain't gonna teach y'all that, because they want you lost. But y'all got away with them too. He's gonna leave their tails right here, and they gonna fall with Babylon. Now listen to this, y'all. We're gonna end it. Let me see. Repent. That's what, and accept the judgment. And he will. Now he told me to tell you all this now. He will bring deliverance. But if we run around here saying, well, he judging them and he judging them and it's their fault and they did this and all these thousands of years, he been waiting for us to own up. To not just our iniquity, our trespass, the iniquity of us and our fathers, and own up to the punishment of the reason why you were over here for 400 years is because what you did when you was over there in the land of milk and honey, which is the wealthiest land on the face of the earth. You wronged me. Not only did you wrong me, you wronged the land in which I prepared and I molded and shaped for you. You the things that you did. Now listen to this here. Ezekiel 36. Now, this is what I was explaining to y'all just now. Let me hear this. You know what? I'm gonna tell you, that's a really good what you're saying. Right now, it's about you in a relationship with Yah. Anything after that, he will send your way. And let me tell you, he will send it. You see, but what's going on is the judgment, y'all. The judgment. If men and women, it be really hard to find someone that's going to be like Christ said they should be to you. And one that you find, okay, I'm going to go and sum it up. If you run up on somebody that does not love Yah more than he's interested or she's interested, if it's a male or if it's a female interested in you, kick them to the curb. When they love Yah, and you can't be drilling them to love Yah. You can't let them see your relationship with Yah. That's personal. Because some people, the devil will send someone in your life matching everything you want to hear, everything you want to believe, everything you have believed, and then brought a snake into you. You see? So therefore, you want Yah to reveal to you if someone is coming. See, Yah will get you in a dream, in a vision, and say, okay, I'm sending him your way. But when he sent him your way, stand still and know that he is the Most High Yah. And when that individual come, if it's a man, a woman is waiting for the vision of what Yah is sending, or if it's a man waiting for a woman or going out to look for one, you're gonna know it because it's a spiritual thing. That person gonna put Yah first without saying Yah this, Yah that, the precept this and precept that, a little here and a little there, and no, all that ain't necessary. Why? Because this thing is spirit and it is true. So you have to wait on somebody in the spiritual realm, and you know it once you got yourself right. He says, seek ye the kingdom of Yah, and all that you want shall be added unto thee, if it's according to my will. See, he already know if you really geared up for him. That's why he say, look, y'all, Deborah, he said, they've been doing what they doing today all the way from the beginning. The only thing different today is worse than yesterday. Because today brought everything to the light that was in the dark, and they still want to walk in the dark even though everything is brought to the light. That's why I said, what are you awakening to? Stupidity? And not see that marvelous light of the Most High Yah shining with spirit and truth? And you talking yang, yang, yang on these platforms? So if Yah brings something, because I'm like that. This is what I said. I wanted the Most High to bring someone in my life that can walk this in with me. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? I'm not looking for him. I'm not waiting for him. I'm running on. I'm running on in the name of the Most High Yah, according to his will. Why? Because he didn't send us to go looking for him. He sent us to keep still and wait till he come, and he'll cleave to you, and you're going to know who he is because you all geared up in the spirit. And just because he can quote word, precept, and line, and little here, he got all the books. He know Torah. That ain't it. It don't come by the fleshly ways. It come by spirit, and it comes by truth. That's where we're at today, where all this other yang, 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 kick it to the curb. And know that Yah can still cause someone to come in your life and walk with you through this end days. Yes. Yes. He could send you even the protection that you need. And these ignorant men out here telling you your protection, and you don't have no protection if you don't get up under a man and shut up and let him control you. Man, what would I look like shutting up because you said shut up? Do that make any sense? I was bought with a price that took place before the foundation of the world. You shut up. I can tell you to shut up because I know where I've come from. I come from the back end. What end you come from? End you develop a religion, a cult today. And I'm way back here in the woods, back in the beginning. You better get somewhere and sit down with all that polygamy and all that old crap. They didn't fed these women and these men. But the judgment is here. It's good to go. No, you're not wasting your time, because he can cause someone to walk with you in this here last days. Ungrateful. You sure right about that. I ain't no lie. Yeah. That's right. Give him, and in midst of, just give him all the praise. Says, oh, okay, Father, you got your judgment on the earth. I still give you praise. I give you honor. But you got to let him know you can't do nothing without him. You can't do nothing without him. Tell him, hey, look, I can't think straight, Father, without you. I can't feel righteous without you. I can't even feel good without you. Because you're turning all that power that Christ has in his right hand to give you what you need to run this race. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is nothing. It has gotten so bad, you guys. I'm going to tell you, it has gotten so bad to where they kicked Paul to the curb. I don't know if y'all know that or not. And they kicked, how would I say it? They kicked Paul to the curb, and they kicked the New Testament to the curb. Yes, they did. A lot of these Hebrew Israelites, they've been in so long, they can afford to do away with it all. Because they got enough of y'all following them. That's why. GOCC, they kicked a lot of stuff to the curb, to where they got enough people following them, they don't care. That's how these people, men and women on these platforms, these people didn't kick so much to the curb to the point where we don't need to expound on the Old Testament, on the New Testament. We don't need Paul writing. We don't need, that's how they do it now. They kicked it all. Yo, baby, you can kick it to the curb. It's all at the curb, because he got judgment right in the midst. Right in the midst. And I just want him to continue giving me the strength to endure in the midst of it. In the midst of it. You know, they're around. There's a lot of them around, but they're caught up in the newfound religion and the newfound awakening, to where they can't see no way out because they trusted in the flesh of man. But let me explain something to you. I don't know if you came in the beginning. We went over Ezekiel chapter 9. In Ezekiel chapter 9, he was telling them about, he sent this spirit in the house of Israel, the whole house, to kill women, children, men, everybody. You see, that was a judgment that he put out. So that's to say, you see, they're out there, but they just so in love with having a man and being led by what a man said they are to be led by. I'm gonna tell y'all something, and don't y'all fall for what these people are doing. Understand, the judgment of Yah is in the midst. That means it already been there. So it's in the midst. The hard part is before us of his judgment on the whole house of Israel. We cannot afford to be up under the control of anyone outside of Yah. You see what I'm saying? Because when you stand before Yah, is he going to judge your husband? Is he going to judge your son? Is he going to judge your daughter? No, he's going to judge you and hold you fully liable. That's why it's not important for a woman to be under the subjection to a man to the point where her spirit can't feel Yah. One-on-one. You see? She'll miss out on this judgment that is before her. And when they come to her house, full-hearted, because it's coming, y'all. It's coming. And I want y'all to use it as a testimony because it's coming to your house too. It's coming to mine. And I ain't going to sit here and tell you no lie. The judgment is what he said it is. You see? And what happens is we have to get away from people who are not giving him the glory, who are not honoring him, who is not worshiping him, who is not putting him on high, who is not glorifying him. And when you see him, you'll see him because everybody praising them. And we are in judgment, y'all. We are the house of Israel in full judgment. We can't afford to glorify everybody. We can't afford to subscribe. It's time to kick all that mess to the curb. Because what you're saying to Yah is, I want to see this person. I want to hear this person. They telling me about this woman killing this man killing this man, this woman marrying this white man, and this black woman wearing this, marrying this white man, this black man married this white, all this stuff that don't mean nothing, like Solomon. Did y'all understand why Solomon got sour at the end? Y'all don't understand why Solomon. Remember Solomon? Y'all asked him what can he give him. He said wisdom and knowledge. You see? And he said that's under the sun. So once Solomon was learned everything, what Solomon started saying? Everything is vain and vexed. That's what Sister Deborah been saying. All this stuff that everybody is gearing to want and desire is vain and vexed. It has no connection to your Yah. Never did and never will. Yes, they've been on this devil platform. It's no way I would have been. No, I ain't gonna say that. Because who I am in him, I can't say that. I can't say that. I just thank you most high for where you have me today. I can't go back, y'all. I got to understand the judgment is just that high. The price to what we're experiencing, and we continue. And we think the vaccine and the virus, we think the 666 got something on the judgment of the Yah. Hold up. It don't. But he has allowed the beast to use his right hand in the midst of the judgment. But yes, look at it at the beginning. And you see in Ezekiel 9, chapter 9, oh, he chopping them up. Told that spirit to kill them all. The house of Israel. See, and that's why we have to know, if he told them that back then, what is he saying today? If he says after the 400 years, he's going to deal with the house of Israel and he's going to judge the whole house. Now, what is special about this judgment? It's the final judgment before the judgment to determine hell or heaven. Okay? So the judgment that we are experiencing, that's how strong it is. That's why you see it, people doing the things that they're doing. People don't understand that. They don't see how people, this one lady was out 2 weeks ago. She shot a baby. She shot an elderly. She shot just black lady, just going around shooting because she ain't had nothing to do. Young woman. Another one, a black woman, going around stabbing people she see and taking off running. This is what I'm saying. Stuff like this here, it's going to be greater than that. It's going to be greater to where the vaccine and this virus, and you know what? Ain't going to mean nothing compared to what? The judgment of the whole house of Israel. That's where the small remnant is coming out of that judgment. The small remnant is going to be plucked out of that judgment. But yeah, go back to that, the beginning of it. It's Ezekiel chapter 9. You might can just read it and you say, wow, he don't play. when that's what type of judgment we're in today, but stronger and worse. Because it's the last, the judgment. Before he take his small remnant out, he's going to clean them. He's going to sprinkle them with water. He's going to put a new name in them, his name in them. He's going to give them a new name. He's going to put a new heart, take off the stony heart to those he pulled out of this judgment. You see what I'm saying? And then that's when Babylon going to fall onto the judgment that's already taking place upon the house of Israel. That's why everybody ain't going to go. It's because they're going to fall with Babylon. That's why he didn't really expound on come out of her, because he should have said that way back in the beginning of the new, or throughout Yeshua HaMashiach. He didn't. He said it at the end because he already knew that you wasn't going to come out. He'd been begging you to come out for, 300,000 years, and you ain't came? So he know what time it is, his will to be fulfilled. Yep, that's coming. Earthquakes, famine. Yes, but see, the thing about it is nothing's going to be crazier than the judgment of him in the midst. These are just the things that's going to make it even worse. Oh, no, his judgment is because you're going to see things before the earthquake. You're going to see things before the famine. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. All this time I'm telling y'all it's pitch black out here. It's dark blue and all that. Wait a minute. It really is. That's how heavy the judgment is. Okay. Then he allowed the beast to put his right hand in it too. Oh my God. Now, see, that's another word they put, men. They put the word men. Okay. When they start to put the word men, you can see the power of the flesh always emphasizing on me. Okay, but I want you to understand, and I'm gonna show you the ignorance of human beings. When you take off 12,000 of each 12 of each tribe, right, represents 144,000. Okay, remember what he told Abraham. Look at the sky. Okay, and count the stars. That's how your seed is going to be numbered. Okay, he said, look at the sand of the sea. You see how the sand is on the sea? Can you number those? That's what he told Abraham, right? Where is 144,000 in the midst of that? A half of 1% of population that ever hit the face of the earth. 1% of Hebrew, 1% or less, 144,000. That's sad, ain't it? That's real sad. So where our brothers, they boost that up. They see men behind it and they boost it up 144. You see how ignorant they are? That's just 1% of Abraham's seed. 1%. You see how ignorant? What you mean 1%, Deborah? Of his children that was born. Not the one of Ishmael, but of Abraham and Sarah. That's just 1% or less than 1%. So why are we boosting the 144 when it's just 1%? You see the ignorance? Everything y'all category for him that's on his side has always been narrow. Is the gate to what leads to righteous. And what did he say? Few shall find their end. There you go with just a few. You see? And what did he say? If it was so, it would fool my very elect. So it's not the world going, y'all. I don't think y'all understand that. When they do they counting for, say for instance, if they took one of the scholars of the Hebrew Israelite and they count up 144 based on the information of the Israelite men. Let's take away the women that has been born from Abraham to now. They'll come up and say, but do y'all understand? That's less than 1%. And they run around here talking 144. That's not a number to y'all. That's not a number to y'all. That's a blink. You see how the difference in how our men think? They don't think like Yah has designed it. They should have been teaching that as if that's nothing. So we better be on our P's and Q's to be counted in that 1%. They're not doing that. They out there with many wives. You see? Making it a part of the will of the Father. What good is it to have all those wives and then have all those children, all of y'all lose your soul, your spirit to damnation? Because that's what they're going to do. He did it in Ezekiel chapter 9. Kill them all. Because why? Y'all walking in your own fleshly will and not the will of the Father. You come out of what I designed and place your own and deceive many. And deceive a great number. Okay, you guys, I'm going to preordain. Yes, it was. Yep. Yep. And that's true. They are. But see, if you saw the other message we came on live yesterday, you'll see why the elder women couldn't teach the young. You'll understand why. You got the elder women got so much going up against them, you guys. They always had, because the men wouldn't let them teach the women righteous. They always let them teach what they wanted to teach them. You see? But y'all always had the will to go according to the young women or to be taught by the elders, the women. But the men weren't going to let them do that. They put too many restrictions. So that's why you find your daughters where they're at today, all over the place, and still not listening to the elder women. To where here it comes in Isaiah 3, where he says he's going to allow the children to rule over. You see? And what they're going to do is going to be so heinous and going to be so against, and they're going to think they all that and something and not listen. That's because of all this here out of order that our men never did step into righteous. So this is what happens, is what we're experiencing today. And that's why he said, and when you go back to First Peter chapter 4 and 17 and Ezekiel chapter 9, where he's saying how the men, if you know, it was Leviticus 26, where he's telling them, if you confess to your iniquity and the iniquity of your fathers, because all of it extended and always did from the Father. Always did. That's why he cries out to the Father. And fathers, them thinking they all listen, they the men of Yah. They don't understand. No. What you are, it's not that you're the man of Yah. You're the one he had created to make sure the steps go according to his order. And you went to your order and not his. All right, and starting some areas. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. And just make sure we give y'all all the praise and the glory. And I'm not going to hold you all any longer. I was planning on stopping in 1 hour, but I went over again. Blessed be the name of the Most High Yah. But yeah, you all need to take our time to read First Peter chapter 4, verse 17, Ezekiel, the whole chapter, Ezekiel chapter 9, and Leviticus. Leviticus will keep you lining up with the judgment that is before us. Leviticus would tell you, okay, Deborah was telling us all this stuff that was happening. It's the judgment of Yah. Well, how do we get comfort? First, you got to feel it. You got to feel it. It got to come to your house. It got to be present before you so you can really confess your iniquity and the iniquity of your father and accept the judgment. See, it has to come to you, because you all ain't gonna just go to it and say, oh, Father, forgive us. No, you ain't gonna do it. He gonna wait till he bring that judgment that Sister Deborah's talking to straight to your front door into your house. And then you're going to be able to take Leviticus 26, chapter verse 40 and 41 and whoop y'all with it. Whoop him with it. Tell him I got it. I got what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And then that's how you're going to step into it with the right heart. So I, Sister Deborah, would say to you, I love you all, and I appreciate y'all coming and joining me and just hearing me out. And I'm going to stay lining up with the will of the Father as much as he suffered me to. And I would like for you all to also not get ahead of him. Stay behind him, because this judgment is deep, y'all. It's deep. So I say unto you, thank you all so much. That's Leviticus 26, chapter 26, verse 40 and 41. That would help you to know how to handle the judgment that Yah has put upon the whole house of Israel in this day that's taking place right now. We're in the midst of it. So I, Sister Deborah, says to you all, shalom and shalom. And you know what? That's very important. If you can, share this video with someone else, because it's time to start sharing this, because people are out there right now, and you all might not believe this, wondering what the crap is going on. They don't even understand. It's a lot of people that's out here that don't know what should be their next step. What should I go? What should I do? What is all this that's going on, y'all? There are people hurting because they don't know what's going on. Share this video and speak to others regarding the judgment of the Most High Yah and where we should be in praising and uplifting him and glorifying him. Take away, don't go to the people that's not talking about your creator. If people are not magnifying him, glorifying him, and honoring him, respecting his name, honoring his name, don't go running to them, because you're taking yourself straight in, shaking hands with the judgment of the beast. So I, Sister Deborah, would like to say, I appreciate you all and have a wonderful night. Shalom and shalom.